Sweet and a liberty. Sweet and a liberty, oh. Welcome to Liberia, beautiful people. 50 counties, 16 tribes. Jamila got a Nima. From Nima, I'll take you to Sando. Breakthrough, Rewaji. Lago to Maryland and Crazy then. Rewasas, Grandpassa. Join me, let's go to my GBO. Maserado, don't come in, look at them. Papolo. Game on. Nege ni kanuo, kako selegeo. Nege ni kanuo, kako selegeo. Labiro lego pakao, lampaga la ipaga lego pakao. Pasana sama kuba asabo. Kolono sao fafafare. Como pasao fafafare. Koganumba oyire kwero. Takele kulaisuo nalayo. Takele kulaisuo nalayo. Kela lalayo. Nalana lalayo. Nalana lalayo. Pagonga wawayo. Kapaku laisu kapagani yake. Pasana kwasana gubo esabo. Pasana kwasana gubo esabo. Labiro lego pakao, lampaga la ipaga lego paga. Sweet and a liberty. Sweet and a liberty, oh. Welcome to
All right, welcome to the show. Welcome to Talk TV Media Network. Today is another day here in the city of Tulsa. Beautiful day. A weekend packed with information. I'd love to welcome you all our listeners following us online today via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whichever platform you are, Twitch. Welcome to the show. My name is Sam Gadu. I'm excited to bring you the show today. Today is our normal day where we do politics here at Talk TV Media Network. Share the link, be a part of the weekly recap of happenings around the world, things that are taking place in our communities. And so today we will do it a little bit different as usual. We will read you a little bit of happenings, what's trending around the globe, what's trending in my neck of the woods here, locally, nationally, internationally. You can be a part of the show as well. Tell us what's trending from your end. You can leave a comment. And for our viewers, for those who are listening to this show today. Again, welcome. Today is the 13th of August, 2022. And at 1 p.m. is where we normally host this show. Until then, I'll be right back right after this break. Paga
Liberia. Beautiful people, 50 counties, 16 tribes. Jamila got a Nima, from Nima, I'll take you to Sando. Breakthrough, Rewaji, Magoto, Maryland, and Keji then. Rewasas, Grandpasa. Join me, let's go to my GBO. Maserado, Bone, Canela, Pacante. Papolo, Game on. Nege ni kanuo, kako seregeo. Nege ni kanuo, kako seregeo. Nigeria lego pakao, lem pakala you pakao lego pakao. Pasenda sama kuba esabo. Kolono sao fafafare. Kobo pasao fafafare. Number, oh, he left better. Take a like so, Nalayo. Take a like so, Nalayo. Get Lalayo, 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 Pabonga, Wawaya, Papu like so, Capacania. Pasana kwasana gubo esabo. Pasana kwasana gubo esabo. Nigeria lego pakao, lem pakala you pakao lego pakao. Sweet and a liberty, sweet and a liberty. Oh, welcome to Liberia, beautiful people. 50 counties, 16 tribes. Jamila got a Nima. From Nima, I'll take you to Sando. Breakthrough, Rewaji, Magoto, Maryland, and Keji then. Rewasas, Grandpasa. Join me, let's go to my GBO.
All right, welcome to the show. Welcome. My name is Sam Gadu here in the city of Tulsa. Welcome to all our viewers. Wherever you are listening to us, welcome to the show. Can't wait. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Happiness around the world. This is where we become the voice for the voiceless, where we talk about politics. On Saturdays, we talk the things that we talk about, the things that matters our community, the things that matters your neighbor, being your neighbor's keeper. This is where we talk about those things. So before we even begin today, we have, as you see right on the screen, yesterday was something we kind of we had a show yesterday that brought information about the happenings at the Unity Party's current elected chairman's home, Dr. Luther Tope, whose house was burned by thugs, by criminals, and allegedly, many people were pointing fingers at the government because from the statement that we read from the Unity Party's official release, it was alleged they put it squarely on the government. And as the law always provides, you are never guilty until you are proven guilty in the court of law. So accusations are flying around. Oh, I see my buddy out there, back there behind the screen. Are you ready? You ready to come up? So give me a thumbs up, then I'll bring you on the screen. If you were situated and you're ready to come live, just let me know so that way I can bring you up. Okay. So these are some of the things. Oh, there you go. the critical analysis in the room as well. And we're going to talk about, you guys ready to come on so I can come right on the show? Y'all ready? Yeah? Good. All right. There you go. There you go. Hello, fellows. Hello, fellows. Hello, fellows. What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all
Yeah,
doing?
we're doing fine. How you doing?
Anybody hearing me?
Yeah, you sounding low. You sounding very
Hearing
low.
me?
You
Can't hear
sounding
you.
low. Are,
Are you
are
there?
you getting me?
I am not hearing any of them, unfortunately. Um, I don't know if Joy can
Are you
hear
getting me?
me,
Coming in low.
Yes, I'm hearing you
but I'm
very
not
clear.
hearing you.
I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me?
No.
Oh, you guys getting me right?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay,
So I
okay.
wonder what is going on from there. And all the mics are open, ready to roll. Um, Hold on, maybe it could be volume control from my end. Let me mess with this volume control a little bit. Okay, let me see.
Hello?
You guys can go ahead and talk, and then maybe I'll see if I can hear you.
Are you there?
Yeah,
No, I'm
I'm
not
there, but
hearing
Joel,
any
connect
of them,
going on because I'm
unfortunately.
facing some challenges here when it comes to the network issue. I'm trying to settle it.
See why this show it's so important that we always all got to come in ahead of time and get things
You getting me?
fixed up.
Yeah.
Um, wow, this
Joel?
is
Yes, I'm getting you.
fascinating.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm trying
To
to
be
settle
honest,
some
I know the rest
network
of
problem.
the is hearing you out there, but I can't hear you to in order for us to relate and talk. Because I can hear you from like everyone else out there is hearing you, but I cannot hear you in order to connect um, like we normally do. So why don't you guys? Good. That's what I was saying. Why don't you guys back out and try to come back in if you can? Um, all right. Why don't you leave? Try to come back in if you can. Hello?
Hello? You getting me now?
Nope, 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 nope.
Okay.
12. Oh, I am getting you like I'm monitoring from an outside phone and I'm getting you like that, but I'm not getting you from the system direct.
Okay.
So let me see. Maybe we could. I'm just gonna play a 10-second delay because I will hear you, but I have to play a 10-second delay. Um, since you guys are hearing me, right? But what we're talking about here is what's on the screen. Government has um, denied the UP chairman's home attack, and I have a couple of headlines I wanted to read for our public, our viewing, before we even get into the real issues of the day. So, uh, this is from our partners, our colleagues out there from Page Africa. Government denies, they say, government denies alleged arson attack on Unity Party chairman's home. And I'm just going to read one paragraph. The government of Liberia expresses fervent empathy with the chairman of the opposition Unity Party, UP, Reverend Luther Tape, whose home was gutted by fire on Friday, August 12, 2022. Investigators from the National Fire Service have already been dispatched to the scene in order to determine the cause of the outbreak. However, the government is deeply troubled by allegations contained in a press release from the UP alleging that the government sponsored the incident. The party is the party in the release said the government hired thugs to commit arson. Information Minister Ledger, who Julius Rennie calls the claim unfair and irresponsible bearing no element of truth. He said the administration of President George Weah is not in the business of physically attacking its political opponents. What do you think?
Um, I know it's not uncommon for people for I expected that response, so I don't think it's any different. Nobody's going to take responsibility, but we know that the responsibility for security, national security, is in the hands of the government. So they are responsible indirectly. So when people are vulnerable and these things continue to happen, why it is true that they indirectly or directly they cannot be here responsible, but indirectly they are here responsible because they have a duty to provide protection and security for every Liberian citizen. So I think there's no excuse here, and this is not the first time we are having these kind of mysterious things happening. We've had mysterious deaths. We've have so many other instances, and so I just think basically I'm not surprised with the response. It's not anything new.
Hold on. There you go. Getting me now? Right?
Yes, yes.
Good. Awesome. So I was trying to do what he was saying, and I had to let go one of the devices here, mics, and I think I'm getting you as well.
Wonderful.
Awesome. So it worked. Thank you so much, Evans. You're always a teacher, man. Let me give you a thumbs up right there on the screen. Yeah, you the man. All right. So yeah, when you look at the incident, the thing is, I'm trying to find out, read between the lines, as in, so the fire department did not go there only
Mhm.
later, when the government of Liberia had to tell them to go investigate. When this is their solemn duty as a fire police station department, when something fire breaks out, even if you don't have the materials equipped enough to go and put up the fire, you are at least go and ascertain the information and help, just like you mentioned yesterday, as in how what causes the fire, right? What caused the fire? We want to know, because from other sources that we are getting or we have gotten, the generator room is so far away from the house, and fire that just cut up from the way it cut up, man. There's no way it would just do so much damage the way it did, because this man almost lost his one of
Yes,
his sons,
yes,
who was badly,
yes,
you
yes.
know, hurt. And by the time they took almost about eight of them, luckily for them, according to what I learned, that the gate was open, it was not locked, the big gate. That is how almost eight people had to escape out, or else it was going to. And as soon that kid, that son of his that got hurt, came out, the place collapsed. But he comes out with wounds and hurt badly, which is sad. When you look at these things that are happening, and yes, the government has denied claim, and as normal, the responsibility is always on the government to protect its citizens.
Mhm.
So if there are biases and there are allegations, this is where the government takes full responsibility by coming in and providing technical know-how, as in, this is what we can do. Let's investigate this swiftly, like you said yesterday, as an urgent matter, so it lays to rest.
Yeah. So in fact, if we really had a very good legal system, Mr. Tapper is entitled to sue the government for damages. If we had a very good system, he could sue the government for damages. First, he's a citizen. He did call the fire service, and they were not able to respond to him. That's negligence on your part. And
Mhm.
and it would really had a very good a legal system where the government can be able to pay damages for not responding or being negligent in providing security for your citizens. Um, Obviously, Mr. Tapper will be able to recover damages for his for the negligence on the part of the government. You see,
Wow,
because
I didn't know that. You know
oh
that's
yes,
possible.
yes, yeah, he could recover damages if you're in the standard system. Take for example what happened with the issue that happened recently in I think Texas, where
Right?
the police officers, um, when they responded, they took so long to have entered the room to provide protection for the people.
Yeah.
You see that case there?
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So they went there, and because of their delay, it led to the it led to the death of those people. Because according to what I learned, it took them 45 minutes to have acted,
No, an hour plus.
an hour plus to have
It took
acted.
them an hour plus
Exactly
before they
so.
could get in to even, get rid of the suspect. But
Exactly
at that
so.
time now, I mean, 20 plus kids died.
Yes. So you
You
see what I'm
know,
talking
that
about?
you're talking about the Uvalde shooting place that took place in Texas.
Yes, and so you have both investigation at the state level,
Right.
investigation at the federal level, and it's going to lead, although the children have died, but that's going to lead into a serious settlement from the government, from the state, and from the official because of their delay. You see that? So
Hmm.
it's just so sad, that it happened to
Well,
Reverend
my man,
Tappet.
you and I know. You and I know. Well, I mean, what place he going to get money to sue the government? Say y'all pay for my damages and this and that.
That's what
The
we're
first,
saying.
the first thing, whoever committed those crimes, those boys, what they're not going to be. I mean, we are yet to see if they're going to be apprehended, and stuff like that. I mean, that's very interesting to see what's going to happen when it comes to that. But as we flip back and forth with these topics and what's happening, man. Um, what do you think? Your entire plan with well, let me bring that on the show for our viewing audience first. We're going to jump right in from Liberia. We're going to go to Sierra Leone and kind of correlate all these scenes that are happening. We'll be able to climax, so our listening audience will have an idea of what you know could happen in a chaos, and when you don't run things right. Sierra Leone, let me bring this picture on the screen, right? The protest they just had, Joel, I mean, it cost a lot of lives. People lost lives. That's Sierra Leone, next door to us, next door. And this is I'm also reading this headline from CNN, courtesy to CNN. At least 21 protesters killed during anti-government protests in Sierra Leone. 8 police officers were killed during violent anti-government protests in Sierra Leone on Wednesday. The country's youth minister told CNN Thursday, while hospital sources told Reuters that at least 21 civilians were killed in different locations in the country. The officers, 6 men and 2 women, were brutalized and killed in the area where the protest held on Wednesday. Youth Minister Mohammed Oman Bangura said. Um, um, you know, um, you and I know that these people want a better life. They were protesting to get a better life. Things are not right. Government is not doing providing the services that it's supposed to provide for its citizens. So the people take to the street. And imagine you have a police force that has of let's say of 10,000, and you have a mass protest of 20 30,000 people, like you mentioned. How can such a group or a crowd be controlled? It's gonna run you over, regardless if you're armed or equipped with ammunitions and stuff. Or else you're just gonna shoot people and kill. But yeah, you're gonna run out of ammunition or ammo. And people are forgetting that Liberia went through war, Sierra Leone went through war just as Liberia, and these countries have, I would say, mercenaries. These countries have war combatants, they have fought, and when they see violence, those things triggers. It triggers. They're ready to go loot. They're ready. That most people, criminals, ready to take advantage of the scenes. Do you from your perspective, do you think this is something for our government, Liberia, our president, we have to learn from?
Yeah, I think there are a lot of lessons there. Sierra Leone and Liberia, they are similar situated in
Very
terms of
similar.
yeah, in terms of the economic condition. When coming to least developed countries, we are not too far from each other. In terms of historical ties, we have a lot of history.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of things common with Sierra Leone. In fact, a lot of our relatives across Sierra Leone, right there. So when something's happening in Sierra Leone, you have to be on the alert in Liberia. Now, for me, um, so one thing I know is there's a lot of things going on.
Hmm.
The government own response, according to reports, that the security officers fired civilians first, and that led to more tensions after they kill a few civilians. That's what I understood. So that the killing of the police officer resulted as a result of the police first responding with live bullets. So we know that under principles of best governance or response to protests, whenever protesters are armless, you are never to fire. Never
Right.
is the police to fire
At
when
least
the
you can
protesters
give
are
warning
armed.
shots in the air.
Yeah, they are not shooting you at all. You cannot fire. So that's why they use tear gas and other things here. So, and I'm not a security officer, but I know that they usually train police in riot control and whatever it is. So one of the first issue here is apparently the police actually is not equipped maybe to handle riots, and so somebody somewhere along the line resulted into firing live bullets,
Yeah.
and the firing of the live bullets then exacerbated the situation. If you look at the picture, what I see in that picture, you see young men looking that they are under 35, between the
Yeah.
ages 18 to
Yeah.
30, yeah, 35,
Right there.
and you can see that gap. All right.
Yeah.
So and so Liberia is the same issue we're having in Liberia. The
Same
same
issue.
problem we have in Liberia. Those are generally unemployed young men. Um, really don't have anything to do. So once there's a violence, they're going to take advantage of the violence. The same issue in Liberia. If I understand there's a global situation. So for example, the current war in Ukraine has impacted the prices of petroleum. All right.
Right.
Now, and we all know that petroleum prices, even in the US, when petroleum prices go up, so many things are affected. I'm not an economist, but we know that there is a correlation between petroleum prices going up and food prices going up. So definitely, the situation in Sierra Leone and the economic hardship, I don't want to just blame it squarely on the government per se, but as a result of the current tension with the global economy, that is
Hmm.
also having an impact on Sierra Leone. However, the government has a responsibility to be able to manage the situation. They have a responsibility to be able to inform their citizens what's going on. So they just need to make sure they are doing the right thing to avoid any future crisis. Because from all indication, uh, from what I see, it's a problem for Bao. I see
It's a
potential
problem. It's
problem.
a problem, and that problem can easily filter right next door to us because I mean we are each other's keepers. Whatever.
Just to plug in. So for example, you see Liberia, what happening with the paramilitary groups. with the
Mhm.
paramilitary groups.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah,
the paramilitary groups are as a result of people aware that the Liberian National Police is not equipped. That's why resorting to paramilitary groups. That's what's happening there. Now in Sierra Leone, when there's a breakdown in trust with the police, the next thing they're going to start resorting, you're going to have those gangsters, those boys will start opening their gangs all around the different areas around the country,
right.
and that's not going to happen. You
Yeah,
see?
can you imagine if those kind of groups, where here, here in the U.S. where you have these paramilitary groups and stuff doing stuff like that on their own, almost some of them they end up feeling as though they are law enforcement, as though they are legit law
Hmm.
enforcement officers,
Hmm.
and that is the fear when that is happening in a country wherein someone is masquerading around acting like a police officer when they are not. you know I mean, it's scary, because you
Yeah.
can easily believe that, and then when they hijack you or stop you and treat you like something else, that is something the government needs to do, pay attention to.
And for me, the signal here is that the incumbent regime have to be careful with the elections. That's one of the signal I'm learning from there. They have to be very careful with how they execute the elections,
Right.
because because if you can see that riot you saw over there, it just gave you an indication of what's going to happen during the election if the authorities do not handle the election the right way. So the same with Liberia. If the
Hmm.
elections, people have to be very careful how they handle the upcoming elections. People have to understand that sometimes you can be the best government and do all your best you can, but factors beyond your control will always not operate in your favor, and you just have to let go. When you lost the election, leave the thing and go. And then
Right.
later on, the citizens will get to appreciate and say, "Oh, we see, indeed, this was happening." But one of the problems we have in Africa and most of the developing countries, the political leaders are not really willing to let go. That's one of the problems that we have. They are not
Yeah.
willing to let go, especially when it's their first term and they want to insist on having a second term. They're not willing to let go, and that way can be the problem. So I think Liberia and Sierra Leone, looking at these particular protests, they need to, if I'm a government official now or working with the National Election Commission, I will want to be very careful how I handle the elections.
And talking about that though, taking me right to NEC, the National Elections Commission, um, with precedents, and you struck a very important chord, right there, as in why is it's not just Liberians but African leaders don't want to let go the hem of the presidency. What is the big deal? Is it because you don't they fear prosecution when their term is over, or what? Or is it because of power greed or struggle? Or it's because you're in power to be able to embezzle, the nation's resources?
I
What?
think there are several factors. Several factors. I think the culture itself over the years um have made people to believe, that when they are president, they have all the powers. That's one. Another thing is that those that surround the president also. So the president want to please his followers. All right. It almost like what happened with Samuel Kanyan Do. He had the
Mhm.
opportunity to have left power, resign, and left, especially when he realized that things had hit Monrovia. And that was nothing wrong doing it. There was nothing wrong doing it, but he still felt that he was upholding and protecting the Constitution. But that's a stupid argument to raise as a president. And here's why it's a stupid argument to raise as a president. One, if you are having an internal civil conflict, that's a different thing when you're having another country attacking you as a president. That's two different things there. Then you can say, okay, I'm defending the territorial integrity of the country. I'm standing by my country. Then people will understand. It almost like Ukraine and Russia. Now the
Right.
Ukrainian president saying, yes, I'm defending the sovereignty of how they call it, of Ukraine. I will understand him because that's two different countries fighting. You have Russia on the other hand, and you have
Mhm.
Ukraine. But where you have internal civil conflict, you realize that the whole situation is going, there's no need to say defending the constitution again. It's right just to let just to resign and let the country move forward. But they really have not learned. We have not learned to be able to say, hey, I have to leave and I have to let go. And because we have not learned it, that's the problem.
What do you, as a legal statistician, think of the 6 year term that has been given for the presidency? I mean, I'll give you that. I think that's just too much. 6 years. I think 4 years is good. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think I've also believed that the tenure is a long tenure. All right, the 6 years is a very long tenure, especially um considering the downside and the upside of this. Now, but there are those who argue that tenure of the president, there are some people who believe that whether it's a 6 year or a 4 year term, it's about the performance.
Right.
So if the president is not performing, that's where the issue of the, how they call it, the 6 year become a problem, right? But if the president is performing and you can really feel the impact, the citizens themselves, oh yeah, that's great. So it's a catch situation between the 6 year and the 4 year. But I think the 4 year would be good. All right. Now, some people made the argument that already 4 year, every time we'll be spending money on elections. It doesn't make sense. If you really have a responsible government and that government is really, see the importance of presidential elections, they will always make sure they are budgeting long ahead of time for national and presidential election. So
right.
I don't see any excuse for that. But I agree 100% that I think Liberia need to reconsider the issue of the 6 year term and come to 4 years. That would be good.
United States here is 4 years, correct? Right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, 4 years. I mean,
it is.
We have 4 years before and stuff,
yeah,
and that was moved to 6 years. Because if someone runs for the second term and they win again, they're going for 12 years, man. That's too long.
Yes.
Too long. And even if they can do 4, if they can do 5, it will still be a little bit okay. But that's just too long, especially if you have a dictator or you have someone who is out of whack, out of line and stuff. It gets worse in that kind of case. So I hope our lawmakers are listening. I hope something can be done about that when it comes to the tenure of the presidency in Liberia. 6 years is just too long, for one president running twice.
Yeah. So one of the issues there is if you look at the issue of the presidency. Now, if you're having a 4 year term, that means anybody running for the presidency, you have to be well prepared. you have to lend to that presidency ready running because 4 years now in a long term.
Right,
so that means the most prepared candidates should be the one going for the job.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because 4 years requires that you already know what the issues are. You already have a plan to address those issues and move forward.
Yeah, what your agenda is and how you plan to accomplish it to even be given another extra 4 years. So I mean, I think it has a little bit of pedigree in there to be able to weed out other people who has different motives coming in, with and they sit there. Okay, my man, we got 6 years. Let's sit down. I mean, moving too fast. You think let's sit down, or you put it behind. If things are going to attack right away, you put it behind. You sit down on it because you feel you got so much time available to you. So I hope our lawmakers will listen to that. What's trending from your end? I saw a video you posted. What's happening at the CDC headquarters over there today?
Yeah, so CDC were having a gathering for newcomers. All right, I think the senator from Blofa County, and then
Senator Jala. I did see Senator Jala.
Yes, Senator Jala, and then I also see that there was another Unity Party guy that came, and I saw Buffer Chambers. Buffer Chambers was the one. He was making a comment regarding the newcomers over to the CDC. I saw the gathering. I saw the crowd. I don't know whether the crowd, the crowd politics for those who have followed Liberian elections, the crowd politics, you cannot depend on it. That's one thing I can say for sure.
No,
we saw
you
that
can't.
we saw that with Darrell DeLong. We saw CDC. CDC had a very beautiful launching campaign for the Senate election, and we saw the outcome of the election. So, but I think CDC is trying to really recruit more people. She's trying to really keep the fire on, but I don't know whether that fire will lead them to a win. Now that depends on how the opposition candidates operate. You know, if the opposition could come together, then they will spark a very strong campaign. But on the overall, CDC is trying to get more people coming over to her party.
The issue with um Otewan, Councilor Tewon Gongo. Since he returned after a 2 month stay here in the U.S., since he returned, he's been very active in the streets and with his broom up and down and having little groupings, gatherings, and stuff like that. And I was wondering, as a legal practitioner, um, is the election official? If it is not, campaigning has already begun then, because um, there are posters of him I did see. There are posters of CDC George Weah that are visible as well in the street. What do you how do you deal with the National Election Commission not being able to control these candidates and their parties, that you are breaking the law? We have not declared the election official, but you are already campaigning. You're breaking the law. If you break the law, these are the penalties. This is how we're going to deal with you.
Yes, that is a very tough thing for the National Election Commission as a regulatory body. I think they need to enforce the law, um, and I think there's a need to have a special unit at the National Election Commission. I think they should already have that unit, but I think they need to expand the capacity of that unit.
Mhm.
Um, I would call that unit maybe the compliance, regulatory and compliance unit of the National Election Commission of Liberia, that would just focus basically on monitoring and enforcement of the election laws. So campaigning and all those ones, you have them. They should have offices at all the regional offices around the country, and reminding candidates and taking serious actions and giving fines for violations. Except that there are constitutional issues too with that. There are constitutional issues with that. For example, if you were go to a rally and make a political speech, can the National Election Commission sanction my speech? Can they say that is, I cannot make certain statements at certain time? Then the question that will come is, are they violating my right to freedom of speech? So
Right.
I've been looking at, I'm one of those who've been looking at the election law restricting candidates from making comments
Hmm.
at the same time with the constitutional provision that they have the freedom of speech. So I go to a community and say, hey, I'm Joel Bemba. I want to bring about reform to this country. These are the president of Liberia is not right. Then the president of Liberia get his team to go and say, we are doing the right thing. In fact, we are delivering the goods. Now, that's freedom of speech. Can that particular freedom of speech be restrained? Now, those are all the things that we need to be looking at as we look at the enforcement of the election laws. I think there are constitutional challenges with enforcing the election law, especially when it comes to people going around campaigning and putting their billboards up. Because even the billboard that you see up there is a freedom of speech.
Right.
It's a freedom of speech. You see the legal
But we
complexity
know we
there.
know what campaign flyers look like, though. We know what I mean. I think they should have something specific, as in this is what we term as run their campaign. You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there's a thin line between running campaign and political speech. That's the point. There's a thin line.
wow,
You getting my point there? There's a thin line between running a campaign and political speech. It's a
yeah,
thin line. Look. Let me give you a practical example. Look at the U.S. elections. You see candidates, they make statements all over the place. Although campaign is not,
Right,
And the
right.
reason why they don't
I
have those
get it. Yeah.
restrictions, I don't see much of the restriction in the US because I think it's because of the constitutional implications. So the National Election Commission in Liberia somebody could challenge them and say, hey, I have the right of freedom of speech, and that the National Election Commission regulations stopping me from campaigning is a violation of my right of speech. Somebody could bring up that issue one day. And I'm very confident that the Supreme Court rule on behalf of that person, because freedom of speech, it almost like what happened the last time with the, how to call them, with the framework agreement. The framework agreement. The reason
Yeah.
why the Supreme Court
Yeah.
ruled against those guys, because it bordered around a fundamental right. You see, so those are issues I think people have not yet considered, or some people have not yet really considered when it comes to the enforcement of the campaign laws of Liberia.
All right, folks. Today is Talk TV Media Network. Politics, 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 politics. Those of you watching, please share the video. Uh, Thank you for joining us and following us and being a part of this noble network. We are the voice for the voiceless, bringing you live information of happenings around the world. Um, we're going to take a quick break, and Joel, I'm really interested in us talking about what happened this week with the FBI raiding Mar-a-Lago, the former president's home, Donald Trump. Just right after this commercial, we will be bringing that up, coming that up, because time is of the essence here for us. So just all right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me get this out here. Welcome back to the show, our Talk TV Media Network. Now we saw this week, a lot of happenings around the world, my people. And not easy. Even this one right here, right here. You know, in Liberia, in the U.S., um, former president, former President Donald Trump. Let me bring him on the screen right there. And this is what happened. The FBI. This I'm reading from BBC right here. Trump search warrant. FBI took top secret files from Mar-a-Lago. This is former President Trump. And it says, information says the FBI seized top secret files in a search of former U.S. President Donald J. Trump's estate in Florida this week, documents show. Agents removed 11 sets of documents, including some marked TS/SCI, a designation for material that could cause exceptionally grave damage to U.S. national security. Mr. Trump denied any wrongdoing and said the items were classified. It was the first time an ex president's home was searched in a criminal probe. So, let me come back here. So this is an issue that I am a little bit more interested in. Kind of caught my attention this week to see, you know, the raid. How these guys, the FBI along with the DOJ, how they all collaborated this whole stuff to execute this raid without Donald Trump knowing as much as he has so much security, without the White House being aware, without most of the senators, actually all the senators, you know, they know only when probably it was unfolding, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the scenario as in America is number one. They see America as number one beyond every human person, every person, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. The protection and the sanctity of this country and the integrity of this country must be kept. Then the next thing that goes to mind is the system works for the people here. And when you allow the system to work, a lot of things can be taken care of, can be curtailed. Because the people have a system in place, the checks and balances of government. Not having to sit there as in someone telling the justice minister what to do and they just agree and do it. When I see these things in America's form of government, it's so similar to that of Liberia. So much similar. And then the contrary is happening here between the two countries, wherein the executive is just sitting there telling executive telling the justice what to do.
Yeah. So the point is, we have that. We always say this. Liberia have a lot of great laws on the books, but we do not enforce them. That's why we are what we are. If we can just enforce our laws at maybe, I would just say let enforce the law at get 20%. Liberia would be one of the best countries in the regions.
Right.
But
right.
If I would want to give a percentage to enforcement in Liberia, we are doing 0.000 nothing. Yet nothing we're not there really doing Liberia in terms of enforcement. So that's why we have laws, but the laws are not working in Liberia. That's the point. So if you look at the scenario you gave him with the issue of search, we have the same law. We still have the same laws about searching and places. Confidentiality, we have those same issues. We have the National Bureau of Investigation, National Security Agency in Liberia. We have National Security Agency in Liberia, almost similar in terms of function with the FBI that we have here.
Yeah.
But the FBI is trained. The guys there, before you become an FBI agent, you have to go through a rigorous training process.
A lot.
Your competency level is not just at a 0 level. You have to meet certain competency level. Whether your brother knows you, whether your uncle is this person, everybody has to go through that standard.
And
I'm not saying that you can be compromised.
That they uphold.
Yes, they have standard operating procedures. FBI has a standard what investigations should look like. When you are carrying an investigation as an officer, what are the standards? And even your boss cannot change that standard. You can challenge your boss if you have issues with that. You see what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
And then the Attorney General of America, he knows that although his appointment is a political appointment, but he knows that he's a member of the bar. So he's not just there, okay, I'm a political appointee, and so therefore, whatever the president says, I must follow what the president said. You see what I'm talking about? But at the same time, he makes sure that he upholds the law. So when he's carrying on any action, he tries to make sure that his actions are consistent with the general applicable standards as far as he knows with the law.
So that is what's missing when it comes to Liberia. Man, just like you mentioned, yeah, there is a system, the standard is there, but when the boss man shows up and says, my man, y'all do it this way, and nobody's there to challenge it.
Yes.
And say, it's not like that. This is what it is on the books. This is how it should be done. Say, my man, y'all do it this way. I say, so I'm the boss. Y'all don't do it. Y'all like the man. My man, give me your badge. All kinds of stuff, And that is why when you live in this
and if the man challenge the authority in Liberia, nobody supports him.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Yeah.
If the man resign his job in Liberia, somebody's afraid to give him job. Why are they afraid to give him job? Because they are afraid of the president of Liberia, because the president of Liberia is almost a donor to almost all of the major institutions in Liberia. You
Yes.
see the kind of country we run?
Yeah.
So that's the problem we are having. Here,
Wow.
you can look at the president and say, I don't want you president. I'm leaving this job. The next day, a university will say, oh, we'll make you president. And the president again will say, oh, no, I against that man. Nobody get time for you as a president. You see what I'm talking about? But that doesn't happen in Liberia.
Very interesting, man.
You see what I'm talking about? And that is why we continue to have the problems over and over and over and over. We don't enforce laws in Liberia. There's really no enforcement of law in Liberia. And just by going and looking at the streets in Liberia, you can see it right there. You will see it right there. As soon as you hit the country, the airport, you can see that there's no enforcement of law in Liberia. They don't want to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're so right. I mean, you're bringing
Just
my
the airport alone will tell you that
bringing
the
my
country
memory
is
so visible,
there's no
bro.
enforcement of laws.
Especially when you hit the airport and you are in line, trying to check out, and someone just boom pass by you. Someone you were on a plane with, come on, God, just because he has some sort of contacts whatsoever, just beat the system and it's gone through. Pick their luggage. You can't try that here. You can't do that here. Someone's gonna call you. Hey, get to the line.
Yeah.
Someone is ahead of you.
You see,
if you're a diplomat and you are being accorded with diplomatic, whatever, that's understandable, right?
Mm-hmm.
But come on, you and I, as citizens of Liberia, in line, and you see a Lebanese business guy just passing by us and beating the system.
Yeah.
A foreigner.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. A foreigner.
Yeah.
And these are the things that we will point out as a media network to help. And the intent is to make sure that our leaders will listen and help improve these facilities. That if someone can rise up and stand up, because someone can stand up. Yes, we saw Mirabro stood up to the system, even though the system fought her so hard. But she stood up to it. And the good thing is a lot of people realized that was the right thing. Because, the city was being cleaned up. A lot of things. When she took over the foreign ministry, oh my God, you go to get a passport. It doesn't matter if you don't follow the proper procedure. If you are caught taking bribe, you'll fire. She will fire you.
In my present, in fact, I saw her many times when I went there to get mine. I saw her demonstrating. I saw her right in my presence demonstrating and getting people and really dealing with her staffers, making sure that she addressed the situation.
Yeah.
I always tell people, enforcement of law can reduce poverty by several percentages.
A lot.
There's no reason why people should be poor in Liberia if we enforce the law. Poverty will reduce drastically. Drastically. Poverty will reduce. Because take, for example, even the logging sector. You get ministers of government to get their private logging and they're doing it. Nobody checking them.
Mm-hmm.
They just do anything they can do. So what happens at the end of the day? So, we are our own problem, man. It's to be frank.
We are.
Liberia, we have our own problem.
Yeah, that's the real word for the day.
Yeah, we are our own problem. We are our own problem.
And as time is fast spent for us out of the show, can't thank you enough for contributing to the show, Joel, for coming up, living your business schedules and stuff, and getting us where we're going as a network. And a special thanks to all the guys out there too, our contributors out there in Liberia. You guys, kudos to you, doing a good job. Because reason is when I saw today, the network is growing over 20,000 plus likes and followers and stuff. So that says a lot of what we are doing. That people are following, even if people don't come on the show. It's the messages, the information that we are giving, what we are doing, for people to see. People come thereafter and people share this stuff and listen. It's what matters. And like I normally say on the Sunday show, right, Joel? Mm-hmm. If that show has one person and that one person, it's able to save that one person to know Christ, to come to God, it has served its purpose.
Yes.
You know. But tomorrow we'll be here at 2 p.m. as the gospel on a Sunday gospel show as well, folks. Joel, what's your last word for the day?
My last word would be encourage every Liberian citizen. Like I always say, Liberia is all we have. Do your best to be the best citizen you can. Asking your authorities, making sure you're not supporting people blindly. Don't support nobody blindly. Ask the hard questions. Give your leaders the tough time, tough questions. Because you know why? It has to do with your future, your children's future, your children's future. So that's my word to every Liberian.
There you have it. There you have it, folks. Work hard. Do the best you can to make Liberia what it ought to be, because Liberia is all we have. Thank you, folks, for joining us, for being with us, for following us and sharing. We are grateful. And those of you who are celebrating your birthdays this week, not just this week, but this month, what do we do? Happy birthday to you. Yeah. That's how we take leave of you.
All right. Thank you.
This week, as I was leave. Man, I come in Marcus Ali.
All right.
Yeah,
take it easy.
Ali.
She can pray for too much, but I love she let me. I have a brain that's all you can pray for money. I don't need the money. The money will roll. Oh, yes, I believe. Yes, I believe. Oh.